Hello students, today in this video we are going to discuss about Holozoic mode of nutrition in human being. In our earlier video we discussed about the Holozoic mode of nutrition in unicellular, that is in amoeba. So basically the steps of the Holozoic mode of nutrition is the same, that is first is your ingestion, then digestion, absorption and egestion. So same step that will be followed in all organisms who who have the Holozoic mode of nutrition. So let's see what are the steps of Holozoic mode of nutrition in human being and what are the parts which helps in this nutrition process. So let's take. So first, as we know that the Holozoic mode of nutrition consists of some steps, in which first is the ingestion. Ingestion means taking of food. So taking of food is the ingestion process. Second one is the digestion, in which the foods get break down into simpler part, and then the nutrients get absorbed. So second one is the digestion process, in which food get break down into the simpler form. And third one is the absorption, when the food get breaks down, whatever the nutrients we get, that will be absorbed by our body, by the different cells. And then egestion, yes, after the process of digestion, some unwanted and waste substance remain. So that will be exit from or removed from our body, that is called egestion. That is exit of unwanted or undigested food. Now, so in human being, there is a alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is nothing, it is a canal in which all from mouth to from taking of the food to the egestion of the food, that is all the part consist from mouth to anus, through which we eat, and the whole process of digestion, absorption occurs, and then there is the exit of the unwanted substance. So alimentary canal, it is a type of canal system. It is a systematic system through which food taken from mouth, and then it is after digestion it get passed away from the anus. So that is the alimentary canal. So here we are going to discuss about the alimentary canal of human being. So for the Holozoic, all these steps happen in this alimentary canal, and what are the parts required here? So here first of all we will start from the mouth. This mouth is first the part of the alimentary canal, which is also called the buccal cavity. Buccal cavity, or we can say that it's called buccal cavity, or it's also called the oral cavity. Oral cavity. So this mouth consists of, we know that in our mouth it consists of some saliva. That saliva helps in the digestion of carbohydrate. This saliva contains alpha amylase. This saliva contains alpha amylase enzyme. So first of all, we have to understand that what is enzymes. Enzymes are basically biocatalyst. We also call it biocatalyst, which increase the rate of reaction. So enzyme is very important for the digestion process, because these enzymes only helps for the increase the all the chemical reaction. It increases the rate of chemical reaction. If you take a small piece of food or a chapati, then what happens? Or roti if you will take, or bread, it takes long time to digest. But due to these enzymes, these biocatalysts, basically they are protein. So basically these proteins, these enzymes helps to break down the food very fastly. Whatever the reaction is taking place, it increase the reaction rate. So this saliva, this in our mouth there is a saliva, and this saliva contains alpha amylase saliva, which helps in the digestion of carbohydrate, and it is slightly alkaline in nature. Alkaline in nature. Second thing is that teeth. We have different type of teeth. That is canines, premolar, molar, which helps in to cutting and grinding of the food. Because when we take the food in very big part, the part of the food is big. So first we have to cut it in a small part, so that more the digestion process become easy. So here there is a different type of food, and these different types of teeth we have, and these teeth are also developed according to the food we take. So different animals having different type of teeth. Basically, in human beings we have premolar, molar, and canines, which helps to cutting or grinding, breaking of the food. Now tongue helps in mastication. Tongue helps, first of all, tongue give a very good taste to whatever the thing we eat, and it helps in the mastication. Means it help in mastication means chewing. That is chewing. So it helps to make the saliva to means it helps to make the food to mix up with the saliva properly, so that more the digestion process takes place. Next, so this is the part that is oral cavity, which contain buccal cavity, which can be said at buccal cavity or oral cavity, and three things is present, that is the salivary gland, teeth, and third one is your tongue. Next one, next part is it is esophagus. Esophagus is it's a food pipe. Basically, it is a long, about to 25 centimeter long, and it is a food pipe in which no digestion takes place. Only there is a peristaltic movement occurs. Peristaltic movement is the, let's take, this is the pipe, food pipe. Here the bowl, here the food, small food mixed with the saliva. It is moving, and it moves when there is a constriction and then there is a relaxation. So peristaltic movement is a type of muscular movement in which there is a contraction and relaxation of that muscles takes place, and slowly whatever the thing, the food item that we swallow, that will move towards the stomach part. So peristaltic movement shown by the esophagus. Next part is our stomach. The third part is the stomach. Stomach is very important part, and we can say that it is the widest part of the alimentary canal. Stomach basically very important because it is after this esophagus the food moves towards the stomach, and they secrete three different type of things very important, that is gastric juice, the second one is mucus, and third one is HCl. These gastric juice produce some of the enzymes to digest or to break down the protein. So here the partial digestion of protein and fat takes place, partial digestion, and there is a mucus cell is present. So mucus cell produce mucus. This mucus is very important because the stomach contain hydrochloric acid, and this hydrochloric acid is, you know that acids having a corrosive nature. So if in the stomach the hydrochloric acid will be there, so this wall of the stomach get damaged after some time. So this mucus helps the lining, it protects the lining of the stomach from this HCl. This HCl is also very important. It makes this gastric juice acidic, and it also helps in the protein digestion because it activates the enzymes, protein enzymes. So whatever the enzymes will digest the protein, they activate them, and also very important to kill the germs present in the food. So this is about the stomach. Stomach having the how it look like. So basically stomach contain 4 different parts. The first part, that is, this is your esophagus. Through esophagus the food is passes through. Here there is a sphincter present. Sphincter. So here there is a sphincter. Sphincter is what? Sphincter is a sphincter is a small muscles that help in the constriction. Basically they are in the constrict form, and they helps in the movement of the substance and avoid the backflow of the substance. So whatever the substance it gets from the esophagus to stomach, these sphincters helps to or prevent the backflow of the food through the again back to the esophagus. So here this sphincter helps, the basically muscular part. Now this stomach contains 4 part. Cardiac, that is also called cardia part because it is near to the heart, so that's why it is called cardia part. Second is having fundus part. This is the fundus part. This part is the fundus. This is the body part. This is called the body, the long wide curvature, that is the body part. And next this part is called your pyloric part. Again this part having, when again from here the food passes to the small intestine, because after the stomach there is a small intestine, and here also a sphincter present, which also avoid the backflow of the substance again back to the stomach. Now, so here this is about the stomach, very important part. Next part contains small intestine. So why it is called small intestine? Because it having diameter, very small diameter than the large intestine. So small intestine very important because here the complete digestion takes place. The intestine contain, this is small intestine having 3 part, that is your 3 part, that is first one is your duodenum, jejunum and ileum. So this is the 3 parts. This first part is your duodenum, then jejunum, and third is your ileum. So this is the part of small intestine. And small intestine also contain the secretion of liver and pancreas. So liver is the largest gland. We know that liver is the largest gland in our body, which secrete bile juice. And this bile juice is very important to digest fat. And this bile juice come from the liver, is stored in the gallbladder. Okay, so here whatever the secretion that gives the liver is the bile. Bile helps in the fat digestion, and this bile also stored in the gallbladder. So these secretion comes in the small intestine. Whatever the secretion of liver, it comes into the small intestine. And second one is your pancreas. It is also very important. It produces lots of enzymes for the protein digestion, for the fat digestion, for the carbohydrate digestion. So all type of enzymes basically found in the pancreas, and this pancreas also having a duct which pour all the secretion to the small intestine. Small intestine. So what happens? Small intestine contain different type of enzymes to for the digestion of protein, carbohydrate, fats. So small intestine is the part where complete digestion takes place. Complete digestion takes place. So we can say that there is a secretion of liver and pancreas occurs here. Whatever they secrete, they pour it, they deliver all the secretion to the small intestine, and here all the digestion takes place of protein and carbohydrate and fat. Their surface contain villi also. Villi, very important. Villi it is a finger-like projection. Finger-like projection. And due to this finger-like projection, the surface area increases. This surface area increases. So this surface area now increased. This surface area increased. So the more absorption of the nutrients can take place. So small intestine is very important. It contains all type of enzymes and the secretions of liver and pancreas, as well as villi, which increase the surface area to absorb all the nutrients. Last one is our large intestine. So large intestine is not very complex. It doesn't contain any different type of enzymes. Basically, it helps in the water and mineral absorption. It helps in the water and mineral absorption. So after this large intestine, now the food get all the nutrients, all the water content that our body required, all the minerals, all get just stored and absorbed in our body, and rest part, which is not important for our body, undigested part, the waste part, that will be removed from this anus, that is removed from the anus, that is anal cavity. And anal cavity also has sphincter through which there is a avoid the backflow of the things, and there is a exit of undigested food occurs. So here we have understood that what is this steps, what are the steps, and this alimentary canal, that what are the part present in the alimentary canal. These are very important part that you should know about before understanding the digestion process. So thank you so much.